Yo, this shit OP.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Cal, bringing another video on the channel today. Yes, how you guys doing? I just want to say what's up. Put on this little talk video for you guys today. About 80% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers. We're at like 176 right now, so we're not too far away. I know we can do it. So if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, make sure you subscribe. I just want to say this is my opinion and my opinion only about this type of viewpoint. And if you disagree, make sure you leave your comment down below and let me know what you think. So I'm not an expert, this is just my perspective, and I just want you to be aware of it and maybe just overall just think about the topic at hand. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. The title of this video is probably Overcoming an Addiction, right? So an addiction I have on a day-to-day basis that nearly every human being deals with, and it's something has been occurring for thousands and thousands of years now, and it's just been the evolution of consciousness and has really taken a toll on many individuals. It's taken many individuals' lives. It's taken a toll on many people, and it's overall played a major impact on people's mental suffering and overall just how they feel on a day-to-day basis. And the addiction is thinking. We all have this disease within our brain where we are stuck in a cage to the point where our mind dictates how we feel, what we do on a daily basis, and it overall, whether we be thinking about the past, the future, it overall takes away from the presence of the moment. I just want to ask you guys a couple questions. When you're present in the moment, right, and you're aware of everything around you, and your mind's not going, right? A lot of times you can see this in sports players when they're in a high intense, very physical, demanding game, whether that be football, hang gliding, a very intense, you have to be in the moment, very aware sport, or you're in survival mode, right? I just want to ask you guys, how often do you think about the future? How often do you think about the past? How often are you in the moment where your mind's not racing, your mind's not creating all this noise, and you're developing inner stillness to a point where you can just feel peace, love, bliss, and all these natural emotions that we once felt when we were a child, and when our mind did not develop into what it is today? It's just a question. I'm not trying to judge you guys or anything. For me personally, right, I know I could say this for a lot of people, my mind naturally wants to pull me into the past, naturally pull me into the future, and it overall takes away from the moment. The moment is all we have. Everything happens in the now. If I'm thinking about the future, that's my imagination, right? It's my way, it's my mind's way of thinking that I have salvation for the future. And if I'm thinking about the past, I'm necessarily dwelling on something, and it's kind of pulling me away, using energy towards that emotion. So a big thing I have been struggling with is just overall being in the moment, and rather accepting what is and just not avoiding the now. Through spirituality and different types of practices such as meditation, I've been able to be within the moment, be more aware, and just overall realize I am not my thoughts. Because once you realize that, you yourself, from an observation standpoint, right? So let's just say I get really angry and I feel the emotion of anger, and I feel the emotion of frustration, right? Instead of acting physically on that, I can observe it within my mind. What a lot of people don't understand is when let's just say I get angry, and subconsciously, instantaneously, you make a very physical, dangerous movement, whether it be violent, whether it be clapping your hands really loud because you're angry. That's your physical response to the emotion. What a lot of people don't understand is within the speed of the light, right? They're deciding to make that action instead of observing that emotion, right? There's chemical messengers going around in your brain, right? And you put enough energy into this feeling, right, that you feel that your ego wants you to grab onto and dictate how you act physically, right? So that becomes your thought process. And when that thought process takes over, right, it starts to become your belief, right? And that belief determines your reality. So once that reality hits, it's like, oh shit, I gotta make a physical movement to deter this negativity that I feel, and make an even more negative chain of reactions that's occurring, right? By stepping back and observing that feeling you have and viewing it from a higher self standpoint, right? A higher conscious level state, you're able to be like, okay, that emotion's there, I understand. You view it from a natural standpoint or a neutral standpoint, right? You're not placing a label on it. You're not placing a connotation. You're just viewing that feeling, and you're like, okay, you're just noticing what's going on, right? You're like, how is this making me feel? Why is it making me feel? What I'm trying to get at is these natural thought patterns that we've had over our entire lives, where we're naturally thinking out of the moment and overall out of presence, became an addiction where our thought process determines how we act within our real life. And it's crazy to think how we just can't sit there on autopilot and just look around and not stop thinking. A lot of people think they are their consciousness, right? And they are their thought process, and that determines how they feel and just overall emotionally on a day-to-day basis. I'm lucky enough to be aware of this, and it's crazy to think we're unaware of this issue, right? And how individuals' thoughts and their conscious state is determining their physical reality. Think about it. If someone feels negative, right, and they want to take out their negativity on someone else, that has nothing to do with what they're doing. It's a chain of negative reactions and overall negatively impacting someone else that did absolutely nothing to them. That all starts within the mind, and when you're able to disidentify from your mind your thoughts, your process, and you're able to observe it from a neutral standpoint, you're able to, like I said in past videos, you're able to create separation between your mind and your true self. Because when you're your true self, right, this is a quote from Eckhart Tolle, you are most yourself when you are still, right? When you have no other outside influences and you have less noise going on within your brain, within your body, and you're just still, and you're your true being in essence. You're in the moment completely and you're present, right? That's who you truly are. But our mind likes to pull us into the past, into the future, and overall it's just a figment created by the brain. It's fictional, and it's an illusion that a lot of people buy into. And I know people may view this and they'll be like, what? I'm not saying reality is an illusion. I'm saying those future thoughts you have and those past thoughts you have, you're telling yourself a narrative, you're telling yourself a story, and it's creating this fake story within your head that you're placing labels on, and it can ultimately have a big impact on how you feel within that present moment. And you may not even be aware of it. Subconsciously, you could feel bad, and you may not even know it because you felt that emotion so long ago. And like I said in the past talk video, we only control 5 to 10% of our consciousness. So the more we're able to become aware of, right, and we're able to expand our consciousness, we're able to suppress our subconsciousness and overall just become more of who we are and more in the moment and just a better human being overall. I have just been trying, it's been very hard for me to lower my addiction of thinking, and everyone deals with this disease that we have, and humanity is, we're very not mentally healthy, right? We like conflict, we like drama, we like all these different types of negative things that create a sense of fulfillment, right? A false sense of fulfillment, our ego, right? And our ego controls us to insane lengths. It just, man, that's why I want to put out these videos, because I want you guys to be aware of what's going on and realize how much you have, what the power you have within your brain, and not to limit yourself to certain things. I know this is kind of messy, me getting this out, but if you research this more and you develop a deeper understanding, a higher level of consciousness within your mind, you're able to realize that the more simplistic life you live, the more inner stillness and second to second, moment to moment you live on a daily basis, the less stressed out you'll be, because our mind tells us this fake story. Our mind creates this narrative, right? I'll go back to the gym narrative, right, where I'm at the gym and I see this girl, and my mind creates a false narrative, a false sense of self that, like, oh, this girl may be interested in me. I'm spending all my time and energy focusing on that than rather than workout. Just think about that. That's how it controls us. That's how it manipulates us. And we want to be able to manipulate our mind. We don't want the mind to manipulate us. So it's definitely something you guys need to be aware of, and just how unhealthy and unaware a great deal of society is. And this is a growing culture. It's a growing practice, and you guys got to hop on the train because you guys want to live stress-free lives. You guys want to be your true selves and be on a path to enlightenment where you're constantly in the moment. You're not letting your future or past thoughts dictate how you feel, and overall be your true self, because it's okay to feel bad, it's okay to feel negative, but just know it doesn't define who you are as a person. Because once you take all those negative thoughts about a singular subject within your life and you let it define who you are, that's when individuals start to dwell on it and just overall take a negative course of action within their life, whether it be physically, mentally, and just overall. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be aware of the addiction you have and just try and overcome it like I am, man. And if you are present in the moment, man, congrats to you, because that's the point where I'm trying to get at, trying to get to just pure presence and just not let my mind control how I feel. So yeah, I love you guys, and make sure you subscribe if you're new, and peace the fuck out.